We are making purse charms today. You could do this with some cute little, like, charm O-rings that you can put on there. You could do it with just the little lobster claw, which is awesome. And that's the one I'm going to do today. I'm just working on some hearts. I'm going to put a few of them in the shop and probably online. I'll put my template online too, just in case you don't want to mess with trying to get your heart just right. You need two 5x5 squares of felt for this specific pattern that I'm doing. And it's the perfect purse charm. Honestly, it's like a great size. Smaller than a Labubu and way less expensive. All right. So what I did was I grabbed some ribbon. I've got one that has a little fun stitch on it. And then I've just got some that is shiny. I'm going to test out the Rick Rack because I have a ton of it. And I thought, why not try to use it? I believe the length on the Rick Rack, let's see if we take that times 2, 6 inches. I'm going to cut this at, I'm going to give myself just a little bit. So I'm going to do it at 6.5 so that I get a little tuck in so that I have some space to add that in. I am going to go ahead and put this little guy on there. And so we are going to do the smallest claw we can get. I am also going to just do a little stitch holding this together. Just makes life easier when you go to sew it into the seam. So we're going to cut this little guy out. Let me find my large scissors. Today has been, I don't know, how's your Sunday going? Mine was all about, I'm going to go on the inside of this draw line. Mine was all about batch sewing. I just did a ton of bowl cozies. Markets are coming up. I got a large order for 12 bowl cozies, 6 blue, 6 green. So I had to get those together. And I was doing bookmarks. I have a few people that have requested. I'm doing several of the tea bag ones. That seems to be a very popular one. They are so cute. All my full-length tutorials you can find on YouTube. And we're just going to make it all the way around. Oh, that didn't stay in the right place. So let me trim that down real quick. Make sure that is the same all the way around. Now, the nice thing about this is there's really no right or wrong side of this felt. So we are going to, this is going to get tucked down in. And then you're basically just lining it all up. I am going to put a clip on this. And then I'm also going to just mark a small area that I'm going to leave open to pull this through. It doesn't need to be a very big area. Really, the only thing you got to watch out for is rickrack or ribbon or whatever. And again, you could do any kind of charm you want. This was just a request from my lovely daughter who said, can you make this? And if you know me, you know I love a challenge. Many, many people have said, hey, do you know if you can make one of these? I'm like, I don't know. Let me try. Challenge accepted. I absolutely love that. I really do. I think it's so fun to try something new. And do I go there or do I go one more? Well, one more. And then we're just sewing along the edge. You know, I love a little simple, I've talked about this before. I love a simple project that you can complete within, 5-10 minutes. This is another fun one you could do with kids. I am going to trim off this, and then I am going to do a couple little snips up here. And okay, once we have that done, I'm going to reach in here. The nice thing is you have something attached to it, so you're really just kind of wiggling that, pulling it through. And once you get it to the edge, it's pretty easy to get it turned right side out. Oh, that's the thing about working with felt. I don't know if you can see my little top here just from that short amount. So be careful, you are breathing that in. It's going into your machine. And you'll have to just kind of play with the edge where this is going to be to see if you can get it kind of rounded. There we go. Much better. Just got to play with it. And then you will stuff it. And I just got some poly stuffing. I'm going to stuff that in there and then hand stitch up the side. Alrighty, we have them all stuffed. And now the hard part, closing them off. Now it's not the hard part. It's just the part that probably takes as much time as the whole project, for me anyway. Okay, so what you're going to do, I think it's called a ladder stitch, a blind stitch. There's probably a lot of different names for it. But you want to start by putting a knot in your thread. Thread your needle. You want a sharp needle, good size knot in there. We've got to hide the knot. So we're just going to, I'm going to turn this long ways. We're going to just kind of come up through the bottom where we want to start. We're just doing that so that it goes inside and it will be hidden, okay? So from there, what we're gonna do is grab a little bit. So you're doing it on the fold line. If you can press it, it's better. However, I can't. This isn't something that I can press. So what we're gonna do is grab right at the top of this over here on this side. We're going to grab just a little bit of the top of that, and I'll come back and show you. Just let me grab it. So you can kind of see what I'm doing. I've just got the top, and I'm grabbing just a little bit of that. Probably should have done a little bit smaller, but it'll be fine. And then you want to go directly across from, this is really hard to see red on red, but there's no other way to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm on this side over here. I'm going to go directly across from where my thread is coming out and grab the next side. And basically, after you do this a couple of times, you'll see it looks a little bit like a ladder. And I'll just kind of let it fall open a little bit so you can see the stitches kind of look a little bit like the rungs on a ladder. And we're just going to keep doing that. So then what I do is on my last stitch, I'm going to go ahead and bring my, I'm going to bring my needle in. And then what I do is I take this and I wrap it around 1, 2, oh gosh, can you all see? 3. And then I pull it out and I go pretty slow because I want that knot to stay at the bottom. So it's there. And now to hide my thread, I'm basically just going to go back down where my knot was. And you can just come out anywhere on your project. And then you cut that. Let me put that in there like a little pin cushion. And your seam is finished off. Your thread is down in and hidden. And now all you got to do is just get your batting, your fill, kind of pushed down in there because we've pushed it out of the way. Push that back in there. And you have your little heart. It's so cute. And then you can put your little O-ring on there. You could put your, if you have like a dangly keychain holder. I like something with a clip on it only because then you can clip it to the hardware already on your purse. I've got just a plain ribbon with a lobster claw. I've got this one that I did. You could do this too, where you've got the stitching on the outside, and you could do that. Lots of options. This one does have the needle in it, but this is a little rickrack on there, and it has a little lobster claw. But I encourage you to play with it, have fun with it, make your little purse charms. And I'm Cassie with 62 Handcrafted. Hope this has been helpful, and I'll see y'all soon.